Yo, slow budget. Once again.
Good morning, everybody. Today's date is Friday, March 24th, 2023, and the weekend is finally upon us. I don't really have much planned this weekend, so I'll probably just get a lot of work done here at the shop. But I want to start off with a quick push-up challenge update. Today is day 83 of my challenge. I already done 40 today, so I'm almost done. And at the end of the day, I would have done 3,486 push-ups this year so far. And the reason why I started this podcast was to help me with the push-up challenge. I know if I didn't do this podcast, I probably would have gave up on the push-up challenge already. And at the beginning of the year, I had no plans on doing the podcast. I think it was January 1st when I was like, I think I'm gonna start my podcast again. And I started on January 2nd, and I couldn't find my mic. I was using a Rock Band mic for the first 4 or 5 episodes this year, and I had to learn the software. So this podcast is pretty much keeping my push-up challenge, keeping me accountable, I should say. So yes, I am still doing it. It is day 83 of my challenge. So I'm still going strong. I'm knocking out push-ups now. I feel good. So that's a plus. Let's see, not much to go today. I woke up today with something on my Yahoo News or whatever when I turn my computer on. And it seems like trans athletes are now banned from international competition. And I'm like, finally, why just international? Why aren't they banned from all sports, starting with high school? And when I'm talking about these men that are men, identify as women, and are allowed to compete against women athletes, thus taking away glory and stuff from women who have been practiced. And the reason why this is so important to me, because I have a daughter that does sports. Now let's say my daughter's been wrestling, she's still wrestling, and she's going strong, and she's still wrestling. She gets to high school, she's in the she's in the championship, state championship, and all of a sudden there's a guy who's let's put it this way: if you're a trans, you're still a guy, you have muscular, you're a lot stronger at that level. And then they beat my daughter, stripping her of something that's rightfully should have been hers, at least a shot to compete for a state championship. And that's what's happening all over the U.S. and all these liberal freaking states, that these men are, like, it started with track and field. These men are competing against women, and it's just unfair. I mean, are they scared to compete against men? And then when I look at like that swimmer that just took a national championship away from a female, his times weren't even good. His times were like the 95th to 100th best in the men, but for women, he wins a national championship. And if you look at the body structure, there's no damn way that was a female. Anybody could tell. So yeah, this is why this is passionate to me. Let them compete against themselves. I have nothing against trans people, gay people, whatever. But when it comes to sports and competing, that's where I draw the line. And it's ridiculous. It's wrestling, track and field, swimming. Like I said, they can't. Their times aren't good enough to compete with men. So now, like, oh, I identify as a woman, and now you go compete as a woman and win. Oh, yay! Take your ribbon. To me, it just sucks, and I'm glad it's already starting. And now we just got banned on all levels: high school, college, not just international. That's my 2 thoughts on that subject. Like I said, I'll debate any topic I bring up. Everyone knows where my shop's at. I feel free to debate. Come in, we'll talk about it. I'm a rational human being. I know there's 2 sides to every story, pros, cons. I'm willing to debate any subject I talk about. So with that, I'll move on. And then something else, this has been written down on my paper for a while to talk about. I just never had. It's the Mexico tourists. Remember the ones that got killed recently? And it's just like, it was mind-boggling to me. Like, my shop is right next to the post office. And this is one of the few post offices that does quick passports. So people are coming all the time. Every day, like for the last, 6 months, like nonstop passports. So people come in my shop and we talk, oh, where are you getting a passport for? Where are you going? Oh, we're going to go to Mexico. And blah, blah. I'm just thinking like, man, why? Why? I don't tell these people. I'm like, well, it's their thing, But in my mind, I'm like, why? There is so much to see in our own country. So much. Have you been to this, I ain't going to bring up. There's just so much stuff. Every state has their own, things to go see. Why go to another country and risk where there's violence and people are going to all these different countries? And I'm just like, and what they tell you, you need to stay in the little travel spot. Do not leave the hotel. Do not leave the little, wherever you're traveling to, because all these countries are violent. They hate the U.S. They want our money. They want to rob you. They will kill you for your money. So yeah, I don't know. To me, it's just mind-boggling that people still just want to travel outside the U.S. Yeah, there's a lot of places you go that are ranked safe. But I'm just saying there's a lot of countries that you just don't want to go to and travel outside your little wherever you booked your little hotel. But yeah, Mexico is just it's picking up with violence again. You know, it comes and goes to the violence, but it's picking up again. I want to do my top 5 rap duels of all time to me. And it was going to be a top 5, but once I started writing this list, it became a top 10 with honorable mentions. And so my top duel, and I took out groups like Eric B and Rakim, Gang Starr, Fresh Prince, Naughty by Nature, because technically they're not duels. They're a scene, you know, Fresh Prince was just a rapper, Eric B was Rakim's the rapper, Fresh Prince, you know, and Naughty by Nature technically was a duel, but it was all Treach with a little bit of Vin Rock. So that's why Treach is on my best rappers of all time. So here's my top duel. I'm start with the Alcoholics, Tash and J-Ro, because that's just my favorite West Coast group. They're a duo, so I'll start with them. And then it started getting hard. But up at the top tier are EPMD and Run DMC. You know, they're ones that paved the way. They just paved the way for rap back in the day. And the next thing I go with Helter Skelter, you know, Rock and Ruck, Boot Camp Click. A lot of people don't know who they are, but man, just take a listen. Just Helter Skelter, or even Sean P, you know, Rock, they're in the top. Another top tier would be Mobb Deep, of course, Prodigy and Havoc, Black Star, Mos Def and Talib Kweli, Outkast, you know, they're on most people's top list, but you know, they're obviously my top 10. Meth and Red, I mean, technically, are they a duo? They were single, but they did have a couple of albums as a duo, so yeah, and they're two of my favorite MCs, so they're up there in the top 10 rap duos. Dead Prez, a lot of people don't know who they are. Man, just take a listen. Dead Prez, just Google their song Hip Hop and just other ones. Smith and Wesson, another Boot Camp Click group, finishing up the top 10. So honorable mentions would be like Camp Low, The Dog Pound, you know, Daz and Corrupt, Peeking In. And if I had to put one female group it would probably be Salt and Pepper. You know, just they paved the way also back in the day, had a lot of great music. So that's my, I would like to hear your top 10 or top 5 rap duels of all time. So let's say I do have a few questions. I don't know why I spaced it yesterday. After it took a long time to do yesterday's show because of the drawing and I had to edit the interview I did with JT, which I'm getting a lot of positive feedback about. Thank you again. I want to give a couple honorable mentions of people that entered the contest late. My buddy Jay-Z and even JT Boswell entered the contest. It was his own show. He entered the contest late. So I guess I'll put a disclaimer next time. Whenever I do a contest, I record my show about 8 in the morning the next day, so they would all have to be in by like 7 in the morning. And then I'm already recording at 8. Okay, let's see, 4 questions. Answering these on the toilet? No, I actually don't. I open them up in my shop, and I don't technically answer them to the next day. So it's all here at my shop. Who was the last dude you texted? Okay, text. Let me go into my text. Let's see. It was one of the wrestling coaches. It was Coach Mario. I had to send him the list of the wrestlers. So let's see. Let me go into my messenger. The last dude I texted was Renee Ortega. I had to tell him that we have practice today at 6:30 because his daughter just joined the wrestling team. So those are the last dudes I texted or messaged. Answered that question. How late you staying up? Man, it was one of those nights where I thought I was going to go to bed around 11 last night. Ended up staying up to about 1, which helps. I'm not tired because I ended up sleeping in a late. Rocky, my alarm didn't go off, so Rocky woke me up about 7:45. So I actually got 45 minutes extra sleep. So yeah, I went to bed at 1 last night. And the last one, what's my sign? I am a Leo, August Leo. Before I forget, I had one question for Tuesday and I just forgot to answer it. And it was that one 2-3-parter. Remember I was telling you guys? Okay, this was a long one. It's giving my friend, she's always sending me good questions. Should exes be forgiven? Man, this is a hard one. It just depends, you know what I mean? Because the number one thing in any relationship is trust. Once the trust is gone, you know what? That's pretty much it. You could forgive, the forgive and forget, but that thought is always, if they cheated once, if they lied once, it's that God will always be there, even if it's been 3 years and you trust them, and then little signs like, oh, why are they coming home a little late from work every day? Why aren't they, why aren't they answering? So they can be forgiven, but once that trust is gone, I mean, I sad to say that trust is gone forever because it will always be on the back of your mind. What's my favorite quote? Oh, okay, I got one. What's my favorite quote? It's by my boy Skunk One. Give a shout out to my boy Skunk. Every day of my life, I'm living hip hop first. That is, like I said, hip hop is one of those things that it's just not the music you listen, it's the lifestyle. Hip hop is graffiti, rap, breakdancing, the way you dress, the way you talk. It is a lifestyle, and that's just hip hop. So when I wanted to put it on a shirt, and give him credit, put Skunk One on it. But every day of my life, I'm living hip hop first, and it's from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep. I don't change. Everything about me is hip hop. So I guess that would be my favorite quote. Again, shout out to my boy Skunk One. I haven't talked to him in a while. Got to hit him up, get him on the show, see what he's been up to, and let's see what's the next one. What's the furthest you've traveled? You know what? I'm not a big traveler, like I said. New Mexico, the tournaments we go to in New Mexico, I guess would probably be the furthest I've traveled so far. Not a lot. I know guys have been to every state, 42 states, 30. I'm just not a big traveler. I don't like driving. So yeah, I would say New Mexico's the furthest. Speaking of traveling, what 3 places in the world would you travel to? Now, there's a few places I want to go that's on my bucket list, and a couple of them are here in the U.S. One of them is Pittsburgh, of course. I want to go to a game, something, Steeler game, Pirate game, Penguin game, something. I want to go to Canton, Ohio, to the NFL Hall of Fame, Steelerville. Just want to go. It's on my bucket list. And the third, I don't know. If I'm going to travel, it's going to be somewhere nice where, if I take my family, we're not in fear of anything. Someplace with a lot of history, and where in the world I want to travel to. But it would just have to be somewhere nice, somewhere with a lot of history, and just, I don't know. So, I kind of answered that. I hope I did. And with that, I will get back to you guys on Monday. Hopefully, I have a bunch of stuff to talk about. And with that, I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you guys on Monday.
Burn one. Yo. Slow budget. Once again.